So I'm doing the open, right? Okay. This is part of the fun of doing live.
It's good to have that sense of adventure.
I'll tell you, there have been at least twice, maybe 3 times in the last year and a half to 2 years that we've done this, where I've opened the show with no guest arrived yet. That gets your heart and blood pressure going a little bit. And it's like whoever walks in first is my first guest.
Yeah.
Funny how that happens.
So Firefox isn't loading.
Welcome to a nourishing midweek lunch hour conversation with Spokane's newsmakers, thought leaders, and popular entertainers. Spokane Talks Live is brought to you by our friends at Homes for You and Breakthrough Incorporated. Welcome to Spokane Talks Live.
Welcome to Spokane Talks Live. Kent Adams here. Hope you're having a good day. It's, we've passed that middle point of April, hopefully moving into a real spring here coming up. Some great guests and some great topics today. Virginia Henderson from actually the Reardon Presbyterian Church, right? Did I get that right? And is going to talk about Walk for Water. We'll find out what that's about. And it's about supplying water, fresh water around the world. So some great information there. And there's an event coming up. Andrew Rowles from the Downtown Spokane Partnership will be here to talk about high-rises in Spokane, especially downtown, especially along our famous river park. Riverfront Park, and we'll get into that. And then we've got a treat for you at the end of the program with Dean Davis and his photography. Absolutely beautiful pictures of Spokane. So you want to stay tuned. Connor's calling the weather next, live on Spokane Talks Live.
Hello Spokane, this is Connor from Spokane Talks Online with your 5-day weather forecast. Today's going to be mostly cloudy with a high of 56 and a low of 37. Tomorrow we could see a few less clouds with partly cloudy skies with a high of 64 and a low of 39. Friday will also be partly cloudy with a high of 64 and a low of 46. Saturday will be partly cloudy with a high of 56, a low of 35. Sunday will also be partly cloudy with a high of 57 and a low of 36. This was Connor Kotzman with your weather. You have a good day.
For the Inland Northwest's most comprehensive sports report, think outside the porch with Spokesman.com. For just 99 cents for the first month, you'll enjoy unlimited digital access to the news and sports news that affect you most. From EWU to WSU, from Northwest Preps all the way to the Seahawks, we're the local authority that makes sports in the Inland Northwest different than the rest, better than the rest. On your phone, on your desktop, and on your tablet. Subscribe to the digital experience with Spokesman.com.
See you tomorrow night, and thanks again for taking care of the painting.
I got this.
Bye.
Weekends are made for painting. Let the experts at Rada Paint take care of you.
Hi. This looks amazing.
Rada Paint, over 80 years of quality, tradition, and trust. Find it in every can.
Welcome back. Kent Adams here. Great day outside. Virginia, what's the weather like outside when you walked in? Yeah. We have some sunshine, a little bit of sunshine. All right. You're with the Reardon Presbyterian Church, among many hats that you wear, and you've got something going this week called the Reardon Community Walk for Water. I had to say that carefully because it wasn't walk on the water, is it? Right. I bet you've heard that. Okay, but you heard that before. What is this about? What is this doing? What's the purpose?
It's called Walk for Water Missions, and it is a community event. We invite everybody to come out that wants to get their 10,000 steps in.
Okay.
It's a great warm-up for Bloomsday if you're doing that. But
That's a little race we do here in Spokane,
yeah,
isn't it? Okay.
Yeah. So it's a nice, great 4-mile walk.
Okay.
And we have chosen this walk specifically as representatives of Water Mission because every day millions of people have to walk up to 4 miles a day to get fresh water.
That's hard to imagine when we just at home or at work or wherever turn on the spigot and we have clean, fresh water, isn't it?
Right. We just can't even imagine that. But honestly, it would be like walking down to the Spokane River every day and pulling your bucket up and walking back to the top of the South Hill, And the Spokane River would be amazingly clean water compared to what most of these people have.
Yeah.
So Water Missions was started by a group of engineers on the East Coast. They said, God's calling us to do something better for the world. And so they developed a sustainable filtration system that they can bring in very quickly and set it up, and they can train the local people to operate it. They work with the local people. They don't just come in and drop the system.
Yeah, good luck.
And they have gone all over the world. They are there for disasters, especially times of earthquake, hurricanes, anything like that. But there's other places they come where there's water, but maybe it's not clean water. And so these systems are a special design. They work really well. And Water Missions is very good stewards of their money. So that's another reason that we chose them. They're one of the top rankings by Charity Navigator because they do so well at making sure all the money we raise gets funneled back into their system.
I think I saw somewhere in some of the materials that for $10 you can essentially provide clean water for somebody for a year.
For life.
For life?
Right.
Now that's just hard to fathom,
Right.
but gosh, how effective is that, right?
I know. And so for the cost of 2 lattes,
Yes.
people can really make a difference in someone else's life.
Yeah.
Because all these people that are spending their time hauling water, then those kids can't go to school. The families can't tend to their farm because they're just spending hours a day doing that. And the illness that comes from water disease, people forget that more than 2,000 people die every single day.
Wow.
Due to diarrhea and other bad water issues, infections from this water. And so by providing these filtration systems, they can stop that cycle of disease and give these people a chance for education, for work. It makes a tremendous difference. They also go in and teach proper sanitation. A lot of these people do not understand because they haven't had that kind of training.
Sure.
What a difference it makes washing your hands. They bring in pit toilets, latrines, because again, that is something lacking. Imagine if you or your mother had to go to the edge of the village every time you had to use the bathroom and hope there's no wild animals, hope there's no strange marauders around, and then just going physically getting there and back.
For some of the basic things in life to sustain life, you know? I mean, it's just hard to believe. What motivated the church and the community out there to take this up?
We were looking to expand our outreach program, and water was something that really touched a nerve because unlike the past week where we've had all the rain, Spokane and especially Reardon and the farther west you go up to the Cascades, we're in a very dry region. We get very little water. So we can relate to the idea that you need to conserve your water. And so that really spoke to us. We looked and we really appreciated the finances of Water Mission and also their philosophy that they said, God really called them, that wherever they go, as Jesus said, I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink. that this is a way we can intervene, that we can help and definitely make a difference. You know, so many times you feel like nothing you do in your life makes a difference.
Yeah.
But
giving somebody in a family clean water,
right.
How important is that?
Right.
You know?
And so we ask people to come out. We ask people to donate.
Right.
We have a Facebook page. If you go to Reardon Presbyterian on Facebook, you'll see our event.
Okay.
And there's a link. People can donate online. They can come show up if they're walking. Great. If they don't want to walk, they can come join the party at the park because we need people to celebrate us when we come back.
Great.
But we walk.
Yeah, and some people like Sulani Madsen and others, we just got to see that they've made the walk and come back.
That's right. That's right. Well, Sulani and her husband actually provide the water because we're going to walk 2 miles.
Okay.
And then we're going to fill our buckets, and we're going to carry those buckets back to the park.
Oh my gosh.
Because again, we
what
want
a great symbol.
To empathize with these people that have to do that. Now, we're not good at carrying them on our heads like some people, you know, but again.
Well, but maybe with some practice.
Yeah, to imagine if you had to do that every single day of your life.
No, I can't.
You know.
And we complain here about some of our discomforts.
Right.
And what you talk about is basic. So basic. Once again, how can people, when is it? It's this Saturday?
It is this coming Sunday, April 22nd at 12:30 at the Reardon City Park.
Okay.
There is no entry fee. You just come, wear your comfortable shoes, be ready to walk the 4 miles.
Okay.
There's going to be a free picnic afterwards for anyone that was there participating. And again, the best way to find us probably is to go to the Reardon Presbyterian Facebook page.
Okay.
That's where the event is, the link to find out more about the walk, to do an online donation, any of that. And like I said, every $10 really changes someone's life. You've made an intervention that can change the course of that person's life.
And how often do we get to do that?
That's right.
I mean, really, and that's what's so important. Well, great. I wish you the best, all of you. I expect some pictures of Sulani and her husband. Okay.
Of course.
When they're coming back carrying the water and,
that's right.
and all that. Okay, we'll display them just, for
good.
no other reason to give her a bad time.
That's right.
But I appreciate it, Virginia. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Last year alone, Avista customers saved over 53 million kilowatt hours of energy, enough to power more than 4,000 homes for an entire year. Way to save, everyone. Way to save. Find your way to save at avistautilities.com.
See you tomorrow night, and thanks again for taking care of the painting.
I got this.
Bye.
Weekends are made for painting. Let the experts at Rada Paint take care of you.
Hi. This looks amazing.
Rada Paint, over 80 years of quality, tradition, and trust. Find it in every can.
To find the right home for you, you'll work with your realtor to compare the properties you're interested in, analyze the market, and figure out a reasonable offer price. And now, here you are, ready to make an offer. Yay, you! Here's how it works. First, you'll complete an offer sheet which your realtor will then present to the owner. Sometimes, a nice note to the owner can help your offer stand out. Butter them up. Tell them how much you love their garden, that it reminds you of gardening with your grandmother as a child. Do not mention you're gonna bulldoze it and put in a pool. The owner may accept the offer, reject it, or counter. It's important to be in close contact with your realtor during the negotiation process so any changes can be reviewed. Your realtor is like your consigliere, and that makes you the Don. Once your offer is finally accepted, there are usually some contingencies that must be met in order to keep the contract alive. Inspections are totally common in real estate transactions. They include termite checks, surveys to determine boundaries, appraisals to determine value for lenders, title reviews, and structural inspections. This stuff is mind-numbingly fascinating. But you know what's even more fascinating? Actually getting your new house.
It's April 18th. Welcome back to Spokane Talks Live. Kent Adams here. And my next guest, I'm going to try to get this correct because you told me how to say this. Andrew Rowles, like in Lou Rawls.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Perfect.
Not related, though.
Not related.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Yeah, okay,
you got
great.
it. You're spot on. Yep,
you're with the Downtown Spokane Partnership
Yep.
and doing many things, but one of the things that's really key to the growth here in Spokane is to continue to build and to build up our downtown.
Mm-hmm.
You look at what's happened in the last, 20 years or so with River
Yeah.
Park Square,
Yep.
the Davenport regeneration of the beautiful old Davenport,
Yep. The Grand and the Tower.
Grand and Tower,
Yep.
and the list goes on. The millions, actually trillions, I think, of dollars that have been invested. I can remember back to when you could walk through downtown and almost every other shop was closed.
Yeah.
It was empty. And
For sure.
we're coming back. Look at the old Macy's building, the M,
Mm-hmm.
and what's going on there. We're starting to see that vibrant downtown Spokane really coming back good and strong.
Mm-hmm.
And not just the surge and, it's going to go away, but it looks like a continued
Some
strong
sustainability
growth
there, yep.
which is
Yep.
important because we
It
can
is.
see the ups and downs over a lifetime, and we love it when it's going up, but then invariably it stops and so forth. We got to
Yeah.
continue to
Right.
grow our downtown. If we don't have a strong downtown, we don't
Yeah.
have a strong
Yeah.
community.
Yeah, so that in the downtime, when we do, and the down will come, but when
Of
it
course.
comes, it'll be a nice cushioned, soft landing,
Exactly.
not
Instead
a
of
crash.
a big fall.
Right. Yep.
And that's what
Yeah.
we want.
So we need to build a foundation.
One of the
right
things
now.
that you're working on is the whole discussion around Riverfront Park and building that up. And as I look, we see some parking lots across the street from our beautiful park that's being renovated right now, and all that's going on there, and we're all looking forward to it. Look at the community that came out 4 years ago to say let's spend $64 million and
Huge majority.
and,
Yep.
and,
Huge
and
vote.
improve things.
60+%
Yeah,
support.
yeah, pretty strong. Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So what's going on?
Yeah. So the as you mentioned, Riverfront Park renovation program is well underway with the rink or the ribbon rather opening just this past season.
Right.
They're getting very close to the completion of the carousel.
Yes.
And so the entirety of the south bank of Riverfront Park and the south bank of the river is going to be completely new.
Yeah.
And it's going to feature a great deal more attractions. It's going to be much more about attractions than what it used to be, where
Yeah.
it was green space.
Well, and getting people to use the park.
Right, and so
Yeah.
that leads us to where we're at with this policy issue we've been working on for over a year now.
Wow.
Which is what can the downtown of Spokane physically and directly contribute to the park and its continued growth and its
Right.
vitality. And when we ask that question, one of the easy ones it comes to mind immediately is the nature and the condition of the two surface parking lots
Yeah.
across the street on Spokane Falls Boulevard. Those two surface parking lots are among the most prominent of our many surface parking lots in downtown. And we kind of have, you could argue, a bit of a suburban downtown. We need to change that. We need to move into being a truly urban downtown. But I would say we're somewhat suburban in the sense that 30% of our land use is devoted to surface parking. So that it's important, and those are extremely important parts of our transportation infrastructure.
Right,
But,
right.
but the business community, our city council, and certainly the mayor, we all together want to see those transition over time into active, dynamic, and attractive
Right.
buildings.
Yeah.
So,
And parking a car there isn't the answer to that, is it?
yeah, well, parking is critical. We
Right,
have
right.
to have
But
a
there
good bit
are
of parking.
are
but you
opportunities,
build-
and
right.
more can be built.
Yes, you build garages.
Right,
You
right.
build garages, right?
Yeah.
So and we've not seen a substantial new garage built since the River Park Square garage, and that was a crucial project for downtown. It was the linchpin of River Park Square,
Right.
and it has been. You could argue that garage has been the basis for the growth of our retail core.
Right.
So there were some lessons to be learned. Those lessons have been learned. So we're now getting back around to policies that we think are holding us back from
Okay.
attaining the kind of development that you see on the coast, you see in Seattle and Portland.
Right.
You even now you're seeing in Portland, in Boise in a major way.
Okay.
And we've identified a relatively simple policy, and it's a part of it was a part of the downtown plan update.
Okay.
And it was a mandate that any construction on those two surface parking lots theoretically the entire zone. It's called the DTC 100 zone that stretches across Spokane Falls Boulevard. But it really is about those two lots. The policy is focused on those two lots. It was a requirement that mandated a step back, an architectural step back. So for after the 100th foot, the 10th story, every subsequent story would require a 15-foot step back. So the effect would be a kind of a tiered, like wedding cake look, or, you know, maybe even you could call it an Aztec temple look. What it amounts to for development is a substantial loss in buildable area. And when you lose buildable area, when it comes to new construction, you essentially make it that much harder with every lost square foot. You make it that much harder to get a building to work financially. So we're now arguing, and we've argued now for a year, that the loss of that buildable area ensured that no project would get built. And this is in spite of a cycle.
We keep a parking lot.
We keep a parking lot. Yeah, exactly. And we simply do not want to be where we're at 10 years from now, when the park has grown, and we just simply don't want to see a situation where the most attractive, prominent pieces of buildable real estate in downtown have not contributed to the park.
Well, and there are things like to the city and county coffers in terms of taxes and so forth. The tax base, you know, is going to be completely different than it is with a parking lot. You know, and getting people downtown, not only to work, but to live downtown and to go to the restaurants and all the other things that we want, that interaction downtown to make it, make it safer. The more people we have, the safer it's going to be as well. So it becomes a safety issue as well, doesn't it?
Exactly right. Safety is a premier consideration for the park, for Riverfront Park's future. Actually, I saw a couple days ago, I think it was on KXLY, they mentioned that they had a story indicating that park rangers at Riverfront Park and others, you know, are experiencing some difficulties with transient activity. So that was expressed in the Riverfront Park Master Plan. You know, as a top concern. And you know, their response was, well, we can manage and improve our safety and security situation by bringing attractions and building attractions in the park. So that's a good benefit for the ribbon and so on. But you also need development, real estate development, to play its part as well. And there's nothing better for safety and security in Riverfront Park than placing daytime workers who are there from 9 to 5, and then especially and particularly residents who are going to be there in the evenings and on through the weekends. And you know, these would be residents who will patronize those attractions and use the gondola during the weekends. They're going, you know, the relationship that emerges in a downtown that has a residential population is that if you're not living in a suburban area, you don't have a backyard. So those parks become your backyard.
And I know you can point to, and I can too, other communities throughout the country that have a beautiful park like we do. Not all of them on a river like we do, but some of them. And to have the buildings and the people, that vibrancy around the park, having a tall, full building is not a negative. It's a positive for all the things that you're talking about. What's happening? We only have a couple minutes left. What's happening with the city council now in terms of dealing with this, and where do things go in the next month or so?
So it's not officially a city council item or issue just yet. It actually, I think it will become city council business Wednesday of next week, when the Plan Commission completes their hearing, which starts at 4 p.m. in the afternoon on Wednesday, City Council chamber. The Plan Commission will hold their first hearing on this particular policy issue.
So that's when it really starts.
So they'll take comments from the public. The Downtown Spokane Partnership Board will be there in a major way. I'll be there. My boss, Mark Richard, will be there, of course. So we'll weigh in favor of removing, or more realistically, significantly reducing the restrictions. The Plan Commission will, I believe, take a vote at the conclusion of the hearing. And then their vote is the recommendation that goes to council, and it's at that point that it becomes a council issue. So
we're a few weeks away, but next Wednesday.
So next Wednesday at 4 p.m. in the afternoon. Please come down if you want to see and support in a very tangible way Spokane's continued growth, economic growth, and cultural and social growth, come on down and provide some comments in support of building downtown the way a city, our true city, should be built.
If people want to get background, do you have a background paper, things like that on the website?
Certainly.
Okay.
I do. Yeah, we've got a page on our website that provides our position paper. So it's a fairly lengthy document, 5 pages. But it's got
some of us can read.
Yes, and it's got pictures too. So,
all right. Well, then that saves us.
So it's on the Downtown Spokane Partnership website, and people are more than welcome to get in touch with me directly.
Great.
And certainly, we would like to hear from the opposition as well.
Yeah.
So
because there are ways often when you can sit down with people and talk about what's really important instead of shouting at each other.
Yes,
and we do enough shouting on Facebook and everywhere else these days. Let's sit down and solve some of these problems and continue to grow in Spokane.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for coming today. Great information. Go to your website. Go to the hearing a week from today.
Yes.
At what time?
So 4 p.m. Wednesday afternoon, Council Chamber.
All right, great.
Commission. Yep.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back with some beautiful pictures right after this.
All right.
Today, I will spark an idea.
Today, I'll help a student uncover the mysteries of DNA.
Today, I will nurture creativity.
Today, I'll help someone figure it out.
Today, I will protect our future by digging into the past.
Today, I will build a business that makes learning fun.
How will the future look?
What will we discover?
Invent.
Create.
Will we find ways to revive our planet?
Develop meaningful, high-paying jobs.
When most of those jobs don't even exist yet.
It'll happen because
we'll be the ones to invent those jobs.
It starts with better skills in math and science,
engineering,
technology,
and the arts.
It takes a willingness to try
and fail
and try again.
Because great things never happen on the first try.
Some communities are defined by geography.
Ours is defined by a vision
that encourages everyone
to develop a passion for learning.
It happens when high school freshmen learn college-level science.
When a teacher learns robotics.
When ideas are sparked with play.
By providing the tools to tinker.
And the space to create.
And our future gets better when we learn from our past.
I'm Randy.
I'm Mike.
I'm Brooke.
I'm Lexi.
She's Barb.
He's Marty.
We're all connected by a credit union
that's invested in our community
for over 80 years.
Supporting teaching, learning,
and creating.
To make sure your future
and mine
are here for good.
SDCU, here for good.
Snoring can disrupt marriages and cause serious health problems. Call Sleep Better Northwest first, the experts in dental sleep medicine. Their medically approved, custom-fit oral appliances will have both you and your partner sleeping better and being more productive throughout your day. Don't wait. Snoring and sleep apnea can signal potential strokes or heart attacks. For more information, visit needbettersleepnow.com and download our health guide today. Sleep Better Northwest, the experts in dental sleep medicine.
Is your child having trouble coping with a personal disability, but don't know where to go? Consider our friends at Breakthrough Incorporated. Breakthrough takes great pride in mentoring their DDA clients who have intellectual disabilities and their BRS clients who have challenging behaviors toward the creation of safe, appropriate, ethically sound life goals. They integrate programs at school and home to enrich their lives. They work hard to make a positive difference in you and your family's lives. Breakthrough provides a highly structured, fully staffed residential setting in local neighborhoods, 6 in Spokane and 2 in the Tri-Cities. Diagnoses affect people differently, so their service to each resident is unique, giving them the opportunity to grow and evolve. For more information on Breakthrough, visit their website at breakthroughincorporated.org.
Welcome back, Kent Adams and Dean Davis with Dean Davis Photography. How are you?
Terrific.
You know,
Thanks for
I was having breakfast with Lance Kistler from STCU a couple of weeks ago.
Great guy.
We were talking about, I'm always looking for good guests and so forth. Got anyone in mind? And he rolled off a couple, but the first name was you. And he said, I'll send you the link because Dean puts out a picture every week. What's it called? The
Shot of the Week.
Shot of the Week.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's original.
Yeah.
And so he sent that to me, and I sent you an invite and said, come on down. And you sent me the other day some absolutely stunning photos I don't want to call them pictures because they're really photographs. I think there's a difference between pictures that we do on our iPhones sometimes and Snap versus photography. I have actually a grandson who's loving to do photography. He's finishing up senior year at Ferris, and oh gosh, for Christmas that's all he wanted were more lenses and telephotos. He's got a telephoto that's that big, and
bring him by the studio.
Yeah, I'll have him come by.
Yeah.
The thing is, he doesn't like the video side. He just likes the photographs, but I don't blame him.
I'm the same way.
Yeah, and so first of all, before we get in and show some of your absolutely beautiful work, let's talk about your background, because you've done a number of things over the years, including photography, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And you were kidding to me when you sat down about you can be slapped in how many languages?
I used to joke that I get my face slapped in 6 different languages.
Yeah, because you can speak in different languages, can't you?
Some, yeah.
Some.
So
You don't use it so much anymore, right?
Well, I was a Dutch translator in the military.
Okay.
But I was also stationed in Turkey, and I spent a great deal of time learning the Turkish language.
Wow.
I was born in Germany. My folks said I spoke German before English because we had a German nanny.
Yeah, yeah.
And we lived in the Philippines as a kid, so I learned a little bit of
What
Tagalog.
great experiences, though.
Yeah, it was amazing. I loved it.
Yeah.
I
What
loved
did you like best about living and working different places around the world?
Oh, it was always an adventure, it seemed like, and it's what prompted me to go in the military.
Okay.
I wanted to continue. I had such great adventures as a kid, and I wanted to continue doing that as an adult.
Yeah, why not if we can, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I always had a passion for photography too, and so I took that with me when
That's
I
so
traveled.
funny because back in high school, that's what I was going to be, was a photographer, and we did something quite unique. And we graduated from high school back in 1965, which had been a century or two before you were born, probably. But we did something unique. We took slides back in those days, transparencies, of our high school musical. And the idea was, I thought, okay, there's money to be made here somehow. So we took all the rehearsals and everything else, and then about a week or so after the event, we invited everybody that was in the play and their parents and everybody else to come back. We put the slides up there, gave them all something they can order slides from. So that was my first venture as a business person, if you will.
Brilliant.
And had some fun. Learned from some of the great photographers in the Southern California area as well. But what got you into photography? Now, you've been throughout the world. I mean, what moved you from, you've done some radio, you've done some
the bar business.
And all that, but why are you doing what you're doing now? How did you transfer into this?
Well, like I said, I've always had a passion for photography.
Okay.
And in high school, in fact, I took my first, it was a photo graphics class.
Yes.
So half the semester we did graphics, we made little notepads, and half the semester we did photography.
Yeah.
And right then and there, I thought, wow, this is kind of cool. I was probably a sophomore.
Yeah.
And I got into the yearbook and became a yearbook photographer. And I kept taking photography classes, and I tried to go in the military as a photographer.
Okay.
And I'm red-green colorblind.
Oh, okay.
Which isn't terribly unusual, but it was a non-waiverable condition.
Oh, okay.
I ended up going into admin and then becoming a translator instead. But I traveled an awful lot while I was in the military, and I took my cameras with me. And when I got out of the military specifically to study photography, and I got sidetracked out of school. I dropped out of school and ended up buying out one of the owners of the microbrewery that I was working at. It was Spokane's first microbrewery.
Okay.
I got sidetracked there about 7 years before I finally went, wait a minute, this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing.
Now, you're shooting for some of the big names here in Spokane, and we talked during the commercial break. My old stomping grounds when it was called Washington Water Power. That was one of the first photos you sent that I looked at the other day, and then Sammy Eubanks, who's been on our show and actually did a show here a couple of years ago for a few weeks and so forth. Then probably because not of his singing, but because of the cover on his CD, the photograph, got so darn popular he started traveling, so he couldn't do our show anymore.
No, Sammy's great.
Isn't he a wonderful? I mean, he's just truly
he's the greatest.
A wonderful
I love Sammy.
person.
He's just terrific, great musician.
Yeah.
I think the best vocalist and male vocalist in town, and great guitar player and a hell of a guy. And, but thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you do I wanted to call them water power. It goes back to my old days. Vista, and who else are you doing photographs for?
I've got a broad range of clients. I'm a commercial photographer, and to me, that just means I don't work with consumers.
Okay.
So, but that leaves a lot of other kinds of clients, and Vista is a big client, and Spokane Transit, and some of our local banks, Washington Trust Bank, STCU.
You just did a shoot, a couple of weeks ago or so in Seattle for Washington Trust.
Yeah,
didn't you?
yeah, that's right. Yeah. And
we're showing the Vista shot. What a beautiful campus they have.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Well, that's gorgeous. Yeah, they hired me to photograph their headquarters building in the Four Seasons, and so that's the spring shot.
Yes.
And they were kind enough to provide a bucket truck for me, so I could get up above the trees and create a nice little foreground.
It's good
there.
that you didn't kick the bucket.
Yeah, right.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. So URM is another client, and I'm going to go shoot. I'll drive directly from here to Wenatchee.
Okay.
And I'll shoot the new Department of Transportation building in Wenatchee for the architects here in Spokane who designed that. That's Bernardo Wills.
What has been one of the weirdest photo days that you've had in terms of shooting? Because I know there's something that you probably showed up to going, okay, this isn't quite what I expected.
I don't know about the weirdest, but I can tell you one of the most interesting or exciting shoots that I've done. And when I tell people who it was for, they scratch their head. But it's hands down, it's still the most exciting shoot I've ever done, and it was for Gonzaga School of Law.
Okay.
And they sent me to Alaska.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that's exciting. I'm kidding.
Yeah, they sent me to Alaska, and I had to go ice climbing on a glacier in Alaska and photograph a former law student. And so we had to, we're roped up and crampons and tied to each other, and we're jumping over crevasses and glacial streams.
How worried were you?
I wasn't worried.
Oh, okay.
I should have been probably.
Probably, yeah.
But I was having the time of my life. I just thought it was the most amazing thing. It was just a terrific adventure.
How can potential clients get in touch with you when they look at your photos that we're putting up on the screen and so forth, and they go, we need something like that to show off who we are, what we're about? Because I think part of the art of photography is really capturing the essence of what's going on, whether it's about people or the building. And we've got a shot of a fellow now at the campus at Gonzaga University.
Yeah.
The shot of coming down into Spokane.
Yeah.
I mean, all of those, such iconic shots, but they're not like the rest of us who take our cell phones or our smartphones and snap a picture or do a selfie.
Sure.
These take some time and thinking them out to capture what's really going on.
Right. I say that I'm crafting an image usually, Actually, I tell people that I make pretty pictures.
Yes.
That's what I do.
But there's an art to that.
Well, it's a very technical field, of course, and it's far more difficult than you'd imagine, particularly to create a super strong, compelling image at will. I mean, all of us are capable of creating a great image. Even with our iPhones, it's possible. If you are standing in front of a beautiful scene or a beautiful thing, and even just with a little bit of effort, you can get a decent shot.
Right.
But to be able to do it at will, and to do it with something that might not be that inherently pretty to begin with, that's kind of where I kind of.
You probably are old enough to remember the days we used film.
Oh, I started this business as a film photographer. Yeah.
What has been the transition from film into, I'm going to guess now that almost everything you do is digital?
I was an early adopter.
Okay.
And in July of 2000, I purchased a 6-megapixel camera.
Sorry, we got better than that on our phones now, don't we?
Right. I took a
Isn't that crazy?
I took a $30,000 loan to buy that camera.
Are you kidding?
It was $25,000. I bought it, a laptop, and some software for $30,000, and people thought I was crazy.
And were you?
No, it was the smartest.
Okay, paid off, didn't it?
Absolutely, yeah, of course. You could just tell even back then. And July of 2000 doesn't sound like it's that long ago, but in the digital world, that's a lifetime ago.
I brought up to a group of students at GU the other day the word digital, and they looked at me, and I said, what? He said, Kent, that's so 2005. And I'm going, okay, that really kind of puts us in our place, doesn't it? About how much has happened since 2002 to now in terms of what's available out there, including the costs that have gone down.
Absolutely,
So that transition was okay and fun?
It was fraught with challenges, especially
Like what?
as an early adopter. This idea of and we've all experienced this. You've got a red apple. You take your picture of the red apple. Only it doesn't quite look like that same red on your monitor, and then you go make a print and you hold the print up and.
That's different.
And how do you bring all that together? We call that color management.
Yeah.
In those first couple of years of digital photography, that term hadn't even been coined yet.
Yeah.
We were kind of stumbling our way through. You knew when you shot film. You had it right there. You could tell what it was, but. Every digital camera captures color differently. Every monitor shows it differently.
Right. Yes.
So trying to get all that stuff to kind of come together and coalesce was a real challenge. But I'm a part propeller head, so I love that stuff. I love technology, and I really embraced it.
Now you have another role here in the arts community. What is that?
I'm the chair of the Arts Commission for the city, and then I sit on the board of the Spokane Arts Fund also.
Okay.
So I'm a huge supporter
so you step
and
up
fan
and really help promote what's going on in Spokane
I sure
the
try.
arts community.
I sure try.
Yeah.
We did
so
some
important.
terrific stuff all over town.
And I look at what's going on with the schools and so forth, and I get worried at times that we're just not offering enough of the arts all over the place in terms of theater arts to whatever it is. And, and I think all the science and the studies have shown how important it is to the learning experience and the growing experience.
Absolutely, every study points to that.
Yeah.
So
you do a weekly newsletter.
Yeah,
I just subscribe to it, thanks to Lance suggesting it. How can people join that? Because you offer up a photo that you've done usually the week or two or three before, and a few words about what was involved and what the purpose was and so forth. How can people sign up?
Yeah, so if someone has forwarded that to you, you can actually sign up now right at the very bottom of that email. Okay. But if you send me an email, and my email, I'm dean@deandavis.com.
That's kind of original, isn't it?
Yeah, I was fortunate enough, I got on the internet when it was still, when I could actually still get my own name as my domain name.
Isn't that weird today?
That was pretty nice. So dean@deandavis.com, and you just send me a message, and I'll just drop you right on, on the list.
I got mine, I think it was it this morning? Or last night?
Every Wednesday. It comes out every Wednesday morning.
Okay. I'm going, I got to open it and see what it is.
I think
and it was a
575 weeks today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, great. Well, I encourage people to sign up because we all need a break and a chance to see some beautiful color and what's going on. So thank you for all you do in our community.
Thanks for having me on the show today.
Have a great shoot today too.
Thanks.
Okay?
Yeah.
And thank you for watching. We'll see you next Tuesday here on Spokane Talks Live. Have a great day.
Spokane Talks Live is produced in Spokane, Washington by Spokane Talks Online, LLC, which is solely responsible for its content. To recommend a guest or topic, or to see this program again, please visit our website, SpokaneTalksOnline.com. Spokane Talks Live is brought to you by our friends at Homes for You and Breakthrough Incorporated. Join us next Wednesday, noon, for another nourishing conversation on Spokane Talks Live.